By the way, to let everyone know, we do no pre-show planning together. I hardly speak to you before the show or after the fights because I want it to all be fresh. But what you just said, and you did it earlier in the show as well with another topic, what you just said, take away George St. Pierre, take away Stipe, can be applied to Tyron Woodley. What you just, who is the next guy I was about to ask you about. This man will be appreciated way more when he is gone. And you talk about a bit of a sad situation. Here he was, 3 in a row. We said he didn't put it into the next gear. He wasn't his old aggressive self. And there that guy was on Saturday. It was the old aggressive Tyron. And unfortunately, that was his undoing because he got too aggressive, too overzealous, and got finished, eventually submitted by Vicente Luque. And Luque deserves all credit. He's incredibly tough. He's just 29. He's going to be a player 170 for a while. But I do believe that was the last time we see Tyron inside the octagon. Final fight on his deal. I don't think they'll bring him back. I just wonder if he fights again as well. And it just bums me out because I feel like when he was champion, people talked about the hip hop music. They talked about the interviews, things like that. And for whatever reason, he just couldn't get on the same page with the fans. This man was great. And I don't feel like we talk. I said this on Saturday. I want to say it again. We talk about Usman now being on the same level as GSP. Usman's not on the same level as GSP. I'm sorry. He's on the same level as Tyron Woodley. He's on the same level as Matt Hughes, those legends. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's one more level to go. Woodley is in that Usman territory. If you look at the title defenses, it bums me out to see it end like this.
You know what sucked about, first off, hats off to Vicente Luque. He fought a beautiful fight and he stayed calm under the fire because he had a lot thrown at him very quickly. You said we saw the old aggressive Tyron. What we saw Saturday was a Tyron that we've never seen before. Like, we've never seen Tyron that fired up, right? And I remember going into the fight wondering, man, he's lost 15 in a row. It can't get worse. I said
15 rounds.
15 rounds in a row. It can't get worse. But it actually got worse. Got finished in the first round. And if that was it, I hope that he can come to terms with the fact that he gave it his all. Right? Like, he did not hold anything back. He cannot go home and go, man, if I would have just opened up a little bit more, if I would have just thrown more. He threw everything. He tried his damnedest to get Vicente Luque out of there. And I said it on the broadcast. I said, Tyron's aggressive, but the one thing you're not going to do is just steamroll Vicente Luque. It doesn't happen. He's too good. And it's just, again, man, our great champions always end up on their back. It's a sad thing in fight sports. We don't go out like George St. Pierre, right? Maybe I didn't go out on my back, but I went out on a loss,
right?
As do most of your greatest champions. So seeing Tyron lose like that sucked because he gave so much effort. But people need to respect what he did because he had that belt for about 3 years, right? And he defended the belt and he fought Wonderboy Thompson in 2 great fights, finished Darren Till with a submission, knocked out Robbie Lawler. You got to really appreciate what this man did for mixed martial arts, and he just didn't connect. He didn't connect with the general public because of who he was, but at least he can say he never changed. He stayed true to himself, even when the outside world probably was telling him to conform to what people wanted him to be. He never did that.
Couldn't agree more. Man of integrity, a man who, as you put it just seconds ago perfectly, like, he is who he is. Like him or love him, never tried to change, never tried to win over fans. There was a point where he was 10-0, got brutally knocked out by Nate Marquardt in Strikeforce, and then you wonder how that's going to affect him. The UFC career, he had some great moments. Jay Haran knockout, Josh Koscheck knockout. We were wondering, would he get over the hump? And then he goes on this run, DC, Dong Young Kim, Kelvin Gastelum, who weighed 10 pounds more than him. The Robbie Lawler knockout was vicious when no one did that to Robbie. The 2 Wonderboy fights. And I know he got some heat for the Maya fight. I don't think it was his fault. I mean, the guy was injured, finished the rising star, Darren Till. I mean, he had a great run. He had a really great run. Vicente Luque afterwards called out Nathan Diaz. Not a bad call out. I think that's a call out, honestly, that would perk up Nathan's ears. I don't know if that's the direction that they'll ultimately go with Nathan. There could be some other things in the works, but hey, respect to Vicente for shooting his shot. You got to shoot your shot.
Why right? Not? He's on a roll, man. Vicente Luque has looked phenomenal. And if this is T. Wood on his way out, talk about a way, though, right? You lose 4 in a row, but to Usman, Covington, Burns, and Vicente Luque. He's not fighting bums. But, man, for Vicente, he's 29. He got into this thing at 21 off the Ultimate Fighter. He was a kid. He's already got 8 years experience inside the octagon. So he's only going to get better as we go forward. I believe that this kid is going to be very difficult for anyone going forward. And I cannot wait to see what Vicente Luque turns into.
One other fight I want to ask you about on this particular card. Our buddy Chael Sonnen kind of broke this news on the post-fight show on Saturday. Dominic Cruz, Sean O'Malley. It sounds like, according to Chael, Dom seemed interested in Sugar Sean after his win over Thomas Almeida. Is that a fight that you think makes sense for both guys?
You know, if you're Sean O'Malley, you want that fight. You
Right.
know, Dom wants that fight because Dom's an insane competitor. But I want to see. I was thinking more Jose Aldo versus Dominic Cruz. I was thinking maybe Frankie Edgar versus Dominic Cruz. Those types of fights were the ones that I was hoping for Dom, because those are the fights that I always kind of wanted back in the day. But yeah, I think if that's what he wants to do, it's up, that's on him. But Sean O'Malley looked phenomenal.
Is he back? He's back.
But was he gone?
Was he gone? He wasn't.
Was Sean O'Malley really gone? The dude got hurt. Chito Vera landed a kick that won him the fight. No matter what Sean says, right? Sean will never admit it. Because even when Bruce Buffer said at 10-1, Sugar, Sean goes 0. Sean holds up to 0 like nope.
He did that?
He said he did that. He held up to 0 like
I didn't see that.
I'm undefeated, right?
That's hilarious.
Sean O'Malley, the kid's a star. The kid is he's got phenomenal skills. I really
Great hair.
Oh, he's got, dude, when he got that knockdown in the first round and he didn't finish it, I was like, massive mistake, right?
Right.
Massive mistake. But then he got it in the third. I spoke to people want those viral moments, right? So sometimes you want the knockout, the walk-off. It doesn't happen. But then he got it in the third. And then, honestly, when he dropped him that last time, ref, jump in there and stop it. Don't make him land that extra follow-up shot. But, boy, when he had to put that last one on Thomas Almeida's legs were kind of up like he was going to try to collect the guard. When Sean passed the feet and dropped the right hand, dude stiffened up. I was like, okay, it's over. Like, Sean O'Malley is the real deal, man. And I'm interested to see who he gets next, because I believe there are some areas in his game that we haven't seen tested yet. I want to see, who he's standing across the octagon. Because if he fights Dom, he will get tested in those areas.
Yeah, I was kidding about is he back and all that stuff, because
okay, I was like, he wasn't.
No, because like when a loud, outlandish kid speaks like he speaks and then he loses, everyone just wants to flick him aside and pretend like he's done. He was never done. He lost to a really good fighter named Marlon Vera, and this was a good bounce back fight for him against a guy who has a name but is on a bit of a skid as of late. That was a great performance. Hey, shout out!
It's frustrating. It's frustrating. I love watching this, man, but I just wish that we, as fans of the sport, had more faith in these athletes, right? Instead of trying to write them off so quickly, let's just see what's going to happen. Even Stipe, let's stop writing Stipe off. Let's wait and see what he decides to do. Let's not say Jones has no chance, because we don't know.
It's just part of being a fan in the social media age. Everyone has an opinion. They could send it straight to you guys, to the fighters. It's an unfortunate byproduct of it all, but hey, it doesn't look like it's bothering Sean O'Malley all that much. In fact, it looks like he's leaning into it with the undefeated stuff.
Just like Aljo. I mean, Aljo's new stick.
Well, I don't know. Perfect. You and Aljo are just
it's perfect. It's perfect. Aljo came to the set and I'm like, okay, now he's taking it everywhere. Why didn't you bring it? I mean, if you're gonna go all in. Bring it to.
Did he say anything to you, by the way?
We sat down and we spoke, and I just told him, I said, hey, I want to talk to you. And he came and he sat down. I was like, listen, we are going to discuss these things about you. I go, we're going to talk about you and every single move you make, especially as the champion. I go, but people cannot take offense to that, because what's the worst thing is when nobody's talking about you. I go, so be happy on Mondays when you fight that you're the topic of conversation. And that's what most fighters need to do. When they see DC and Helwani said this, be happy, because guess what? There are 535 other people on the roster that don't get any type of Monday morning quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, be happy when you're the topic of conversation, because the one thing you don't want to be is just insignificant.
Hey, shout out to Brad Riddell. Brad Riddell didn't fight on Saturday.
Corner 2.
Lost out on his on the biggest fight of his career against Greg Gillespie last weekend, 2 weekends ago, because of COVID. There he was cornering Jamie Malarkey, who people may have forgotten, they fought in a fight of the night back at
Yeah.
UFC 243. That was pretty damn cool. He stuck
cool.
around, and there he was, Jamie Malarkey with a huge win over Kama Worthy, Miranda Maverick with a big win over Jillian Robertson, Alonzo Menefield with a big win as well. Very impressive Von Flue choke. And what about your guy, Abubakar? You kept calling him a different name. I was like, who's he talking about? What'd you keep calling him?
His name is Manap. We call him Manap.
But no one knows him as Manap.
No, but I explained it. His name is Abubakar Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. So he's named Abdulmanap. But just for short, we just call him Manap, right? So it's just his name because we don't call him Abubakar in the gym. We call him Manap, and they understand. Even in the corner, you could hear Javier and Habib saying that. Khabib was like, speak Russian, Manap, speak Russian. You know, it's his name, and it's Abubakar Nurmagomedov, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. And
there's my guy, Habib.
He fought good.
Habib, good, Coach of the Year.
He's back. Habib's 3-0 now. Hey, Coach Habib, him and Javier. I mean, he says he gives all the credit to Hav, but Habib, man, he's always there. And you know where he is now? Connecticut, right over there with Usman Nurmagomedov. I mean, the dude is making his rounds to I
love it.
As a coach, and just full on, man. He's full in with these guys to try to help them get better and become champions.
Oh, I'm very excited to watch. There's no UFC this weekend, but Bellator is finally back after a long layoff. I can't wait to see this Usman Nurmagomedov. Everyone talks about him as you've never trained with him, right?
Never trained with him, but I've seen it. I've seen it now. I got to watch him spar the other day on FaceTime. The kid's good.
Oh, okay. He wasn't in Vegas.
He trained with those guys down there, right?
Oh, was he in Vegas? No, was he there?
Not at the fights.
Okay.
No, it was him, Umar. It was Habib, Umar, and Hav came, and then Ali was there too with Abu. The other kid, Abu.
Yeah, that's going to be great. That's this Friday, by the way, also the return of Patricio Pitbull. So I'm looking forward to that. But as we put 260 to bed, a couple other things I want to bring up. By the way, what about you guys? I mean, look, I haven't been to an event in quite some time at this point. And, you know, for the most part, I miss it. And I feel like a little bit left out, whatever. But I missed it on Saturday. I mean, there's Joe Burrow. There's Kardashian with the lollipop.
Baby. It was Club 260.
What was that all about? Freaking Megan Fox looks like she did 15 years ago. She doesn't age. I don't know what's going on there. Machine Gun Kelly. What was that scene like?
Hamilton. I mean, Gary Clark Jr. Everybody, a lot of people were in there just kind of sitting up on some risers, all in these plush black leather chairs. It was madness. I go to the bathroom yesterday. As I get through the curtain, I look to the left, there's a trailer. And I'm like, what is this? Oh, it's the VIP bathroom. I'm like, wow. What? It was crazy. I was like, this is madness.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.